Hello students, welcome back. So in this session, we are going to be focusing on types of errors in Python. They fall under three main categories: syntax errors, runtime errors, and logical errors. Let's look at syntax errors first. These errors, they happen when your Python cannot understand your code due to incorrect syntax. So let's take a look at an example. If true, print hello. You want to print hello if some condition is true. Well, when you run this, it's going to throw an error. That's because it's missing a colon over here. So let's fix that. I put a colon over here. This is the way I fixed it. And now when I run this, it prints out hello. And you can see that it gave you syntax error right there. It even tells you what the error is. It's invalid syntax. And right here, it even tells you a little caret that's telling you that, hey, there is a syntax error somewhere over here. Let's take a look at another example. In this case, I'm defining age as 20. And I'm saying, and what I want to say, if age is more than 18, then print you are an adult. Now, when I run this, it's going to give me a syntax error because of these three greater than sign. So that's a mistake. So it tells you invalid syntax error. Fix is very simple. Just change that to greater than sign. Now, when I run this, it works just fine. Let's take a look at another example of syntax error. Let's say you want to print hello. I run this, and you can see that it tells you syntax error. Then also tells you an end of line. EOL stands for end of line while scanning string literal. And telling you where the error is and which line the error is. So what's happening over here is that I forgot to print a double quote at the end. So I fixed that over here. I put double quote, and when I run this cell, it works just fine. So syntax error, they happen before the program runs. Now let's take a look at the second type of error. That is called runtime errors. Another name for that is exceptions. Now these errors, they occur while the program is running. For example, let's say your a equal to 10 and your b equal to 0. And I print a divided by b. When I run this, it throws me a zero division error. This is runtime error because it happened during runtime when the program is running. It ran this cell successfully, it ran this successfully, but over here it actually stopped. It gave me this error. So let's take a look at some of the common runtime error. There is a zero division error. That was this one right here, because you were dividing by zero. That's why it's called zero division error. Then there's a type error, value error, index error, key error, file not found error. So let's look at each one of them real quickly. Example of type error. Let's say my a equal to 10 and my b equal to 5 in this case. I'm going to add these two numbers. Now when I run this, I get and type error, and that's because type error right here, and that's because in this case I'm trying to add an integer to a string. That is not allowed. So the solution is you convert that into int. So in this case I typecast, I convert my b into integer. When I run this, it works just fine. Let's take a look at a value error. In this case, let's say I want to convert my 20 into an integer. When I run this, I get an error because 20 is a string, it's not a number. So that's why I'm getting this error. Well, in this case, the simple fix is this, is put 20 over here. Now, when I run this, my value error is fixed. Let's take a look at an example of index error. In this case, I have a list of numbers and I'm trying to access a number at index 5. Well, this index is not present because this is 0, 1, 2. There's only 3 elements present. I'm trying to access an element that's not present at an index. So I get list index out of range. This is called index error. Fix is try to access the element that is present at an index. So at an element at index 2, that would be this right here. So when I run this, it works just fine. Let's take a look at a key error. This happens when you're trying to access an element in a dictionary. So for example, let's say you're trying to access grade. Well, there is no grade key over here. There is a name, there is an age. Let me just hit enter over here. There you go. Name and age. These are the only two keys, name and age. So when I try to print, I try to access the grade, the key, it's going to throw me an error. It's going to say key error because the key grade does not exist. Nowhere over here it exists. Fix is simple. Just use that right key. In this case, use the key either name or age. And in this case, I'm actually using age now. So when I try to run this, it works just fine. Let's take a look at an example of file not found error. Suppose you're trying to open a file, data file people.txt in a read mode. And this is my name of the file right here. I run this and I'm going to get an error that file not found that says no such file or directory. Because this file is not present, that's why I'm getting this error. Fix is that you have to create this file, make sure this file exists at that path. This way, this error will disappear. And now let's take a look at logical errors. Now, these are the most dangerous ones, and that's because in this case, the program runs fine and you would not see any error, but your output is not going to be correct. It is going to be incorrect. So let's take a look at an example of logical error. Suppose you define a function, average, that's going to calculate the average of three numbers, A, B, C, and it's going to return the value, and it's returning the value over here. And I'm trying to calculate the average of 10, 20, 30. When I run this, it runs just fine, but the answer is wrong. And what is happening is this right here is taking higher precedence over plus ones over here. This is due to operator arithmetic operator precedence. So you don't want this thing. You want to divide A plus B plus C by 3. But right now what's happening? Only C is getting divided by 3. That is why it's giving you 40. So A is 10, B is 20, 10 plus 20 is 30, and C divided by 3 is 10 because C is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So 10 plus 20 plus 10, and the answer comes out to be 40, which is wrong. That's not what we wanted. What we wanted was we want to take A plus B plus C, you add all the numbers together, and then you divide by 3. So in this case, when I run this, it gives me the correct answer. That's the correct one. This is the fix for the logical error. Let's take a look at another logical error. Here I'm checking if a number is positive. So let's say my number equal to -5, and I'm saying if number is greater than 0, you write this message, positive number. Otherwise, else print positive number. When I run this, it works just fine. But my answer is wrong because over here, I'm writing positive number, which is good. But over here, I'm saying if the number is not greater than 0, it is a positive number. This part is not true. This should have been actually a negative number. So coming over here down, I'm fixed that. I actually put this negative number over here. Now when I run this, it works just fine. Negative number. And if I make this thing as +5, I run this, it prints out positive number. Run again and works fine.